Kasturi tilakam lalat patale vakshastale kaustubham nasagre varmoktikam kartale venu kare kankarnam sarvange harichandanam sulalitam Kanthe cha muktavali gopastri parivestito vijayati gopal chudamani vasudeva sutam devam kansa chanuramardanam devaki paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Guru Sakshat Para Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Reading from Srimad Bhagwat Mahapuran. We have completed 5 cantos, including the Mahatmya. And now we are into the 6th canto. These are the chapters in the 6th canto, 19 chapters. The story of Ajamil, how Ajamil fell down from grace. He was a very pious Brahmin. He was a scholarly. He had all knowledge and character. Maybe you can mute others. He had all character and qualifications. Yet the power of Maya is so strong that no one is spared by the onslaught of Maya. And Ajamil also fell down. That story we have already covered. But Ajamil was rescued by the grace of the Lord. And the very interesting conversation between the Vishnu Dut and the Yam Dut we learned, and how Lord Yam convinced the Yam Dut that the past of Ajamil was very glorious, and when he chanted the name Narayan when he was on his dying bed, he could attract the grace of the Lord. And then he performed necessary atonement, and as a result he was spared by the Lord and given another chance, and finally he achieved God realization. So that is why the 6th chapter comes under the topic of Bhagavatam called Poshnam. Entire Bhagavad Mahapuran is divided in 10 topics: Sarg, Visarg, Asthanam, Poshnam, Uti, Ishanu Katha, Manvantar, Nirodh, Ashray. So, Sarg is the creation until the arrival of Brahmaji on the scene. So, first, when our Brahmand, actually there are innumerable Brahmand, innumerable universes, but we are talking about our universe. So, our universe, before the universe was created by Lord Brahma, the creation is called Sarg, the primary creation. And once Brahmaji is born, then the creation that is expanded, that is called Visarg. So what happens in the primary creation? The Lord agitates the Prakriti. Prakriti, Prakriti manifests into Mahatattva, and Mahatattva manifests into Ahankar, So Prakriti has three gunas, and those three gunas with the combination of Ahankar, they lead to Panch Tanmatra and then Panch Mahabhut, the five basic fundamental elements. So up to here, the creation is called Sarg, and then in parallel, Brahmaji emerges from the lotus which emanates from the navel of Lord Vishnu. And then Brahmaji is empowered to expand the creation. So that creation of Brahmaji is called Visarg. So in the creation by Brahmaji, various Manasputs are born, and those Manasputras are Sanat Sanatan, Sanak Sanandan Kumar. Narad Muni also is born in that Brahman, in that creation. Then the 10 rishis, Atri, Pulastya, Angira, Kratu, Pulha, all these rishis also emerge from the Manasputra. Manasputra means there is no necessity of a mother, just by the meditation of Brahmaji, all these personalities are being born. Kardam Rishi is created from the shadow of Brahmaji. Lord Shiva emerges from the forehead of Brahmaji. All these personalities then come into the universe. But the universe is not progressing sufficiently much. Then Brahmaji sits in meditation in a state of confusion, in the sense that the progress is not sufficient. Then from Brahmaji's body, the two personalities emerge. They are Manu and Shatrupa, and from there the Mathuni Srishti begins. Before that, the Srishti, the creation, is asexual. From the combination of Brahma, from the combination of Manuji and Shatrupaji, five children are born. They are Uttanpad and Priyavrat, two sons, and three daughters, Akuti, Prasuti, and Devhuti. So this is called the Sarg, the secondary creation. Now, in the third canto and the fourth canto and the fifth canto, Bhagavad talks about the lineage of these children. First, it talks about the lineage of Devhuti, who is married to Kardam Rishi, and how Lord Kapil will be born to Kardam Rishi and Devhuti. Then Akuti is married to Ruchi Prajapati, and how Lord Yajna is born to her. And then Prasuti is married to Daksh Prajapati, and how Sati is born to them. And Sati is married to Lord Shiv, and how the fight, the battle between the ego battle between Lord Shiv and Sati, that story also we read in the previous cantos. So in the fifth canto, we read about the the the, the lineage of Priyavrat. Priyavrat is the son of Manuji. Priyavrat's son is Agnidra. Agnidra's son is Navi. Navi's son is Rishabh, and Rishabh has 100 sons. The eldest is called Bharat Maharaj, and Bharat Maharaj, when he went into the forest, he got attached to the baby deer, and then in the next life he became a deer, and finally he became Jad Bharat. And that conversation between Rahugan and Jad Bharat we read in the fifth canto. And after that, in the fifth canto, the Bhagavad Mahapuran started talking about the Asthanam, the third topic, which is the cosmology, the geographical position of the universe. So we have the Bhumandal, which is in the center, and below the Bhumandal, we have the seven subterranean lokas: Atal, Vital, Sutal, Mahatal, Talatal, Rasatal, Patal. And then above Bhumandal, we have Bhumandal, then Swa, then Bhuvalok, then Swargalok, then Maharlok, then Tapalok, then Janalok, and then Satyalok. These are the seven planetary planets on the upper planetary system. But between the Bhumandal and the Swargalok, there is Antariksh, and in that we have the sun, which is rotating about the Meru Parvat, which is the center of the Bhumandal on Jambudvip. And then above sun is the moon. Above moon is the Kal Chakra, which has all the constellation, the stars, the nakshatras, and the rashis. And above that is Saptarishis, and above that is pole star, Dhruv Tara. And then we have Mercury, Venus, all these planetary systems. And finally, these lokas, and the outer covering is made up of the five Mahatattva, the five Panch Mahabhut: fire, water, air, space, water, fire, water, air, space, and finally the Mahatattva and earth. So this is the geographical position, and I talked about the different personalities to give the idea of the story of God, the story of creation. But coming back to the sixth canto, so we learned about Ajamil, and now we will learn about the subsequent chapter where we have the knowledge of Daksh Prajapati. So this Daksh Prajapati is born again in this Manvantar, which is the Manvantar of Vaivaswat Manu. There are 14 Manus in one Manvantar. First Manu is called Swayambhu Manu, then Swa Rochish Manu, then Tamas Raivat, then we have Chakshus, and now we are in the Vaivaswat Manu. Again, so many personalities, they will be born again. So Daksh Prajapati is born this time, and he is again propagating the population. So he is bestowed with 10,000 sons. So those 10,000 sons, as we learned in the past session, they were converted into sannyasis by the preaching of Naradji. And the next set of 1,000 sons were also converted into sannyasis. And that is how Daksh Prajapati got very agitated and he cursed Naradji. And the curse was that he will not stay at one place. So this is what we have learned so far up to chapter 6.5 and 6.6. And today we will read the chapter 6.7. Indradev gets a new preceptor. So just to recall once again, because some of you may not have attended, Daksh Prajapati, his 10,000 sons have become sannyasis. Next 1,000 sons also became sannyasis. And next, again by God's grace, he was this time bestowed with 60 daughters. And those daughters are very prominent. Out of those 60 daughters, 13 daughters were married to Kashyap Rishi. Kashyap ji is the son of Marichi Prajapati. So Kashyap ji is the father of all these personalities, because he is married to Diti. All the devatas were produced from Diti, and then Diti, Danav, Hiranyakashipu, and Hiranyaksh. Aditi, from Aditi, all the devatas and other personalities were born, and then he was married to so many other wives also, which we covered. So let us see what happens in the next episode. Aditi's one son Twasta had married Rachna, a Daitya. So we are talking about one of the sons of Aditi. As I mentioned, she is married to Kashyap Rishi, and Twasta is the husband of Rachna, and who is a Daitya, who is from the Daitya Vansh. One of their son was Vishwarup. So they have a child called Vishwarup, who, though being a Daitya enemy, was chosen as an Acharya by the hosts of Devatas, because Angira's son Brihaspati had deserted them. So what had happened in the previous session, we covered that once Brihaspati, who is the guru of Devatas, he was not respected by Indra. He came into the Sabha, but Indra did not take cognizance of him. So he was not happy, and then he left the Devalok. So in his absence, this person is filling in the gap. Vishwarup is the person who is performing the role of Acharya. King Parikshit asked Sukdev Goswami to elaborate on this incident, which he narrated. Once Indradev, in his assembly of cousins and brothers, was being praised by the Siddhas, Charanas, Gandharvas, Vidyadhars, Kinnars in melodious tunes, and hence did not welcome his preceptor Brihaspati, who had arrived in the assembly. Indra accorded no proper honor or conduct that was expected from Indra towards Brihaspati. So Brihaspati, realizing that the disrespect shown was due to Indra's pride of affluence and power, returned back to his residence. Indra realized his mistake, that due to his deplorable and unrighteous conduct, Brihaspati had been insulted in open court by himself. He also reprimanded himself for having given in to his ego. Indra then decided to seek his forgiveness from the kind-hearted Brihaspati. Brihaspati, with his extraordinary yogic power, realized Indra's intention and disappeared from his house. This got Indra worried as to how would he deal with the demons in the absence of his counselor, and so lost his peace of mind. The demons got to know about this from their own Acharya, Shukracharya, and the demons decided to attack the Devatas. Bearing deep wounds from the sharp attack of the demons, Indra led all Devatas and approached Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma first highlighted Indra's mistake of being proud of his power, due to which he insulted the highly disciplined Brihaspati, and the fruit of that misbehavior was defeat in the hands of demons. The demons themselves were very weak because of the disrespect shown by them to their own preceptor Shukracharya. However, now Brahma informs that after this latest development, they, with their renewed devotion to Shukracharya, have become very strong and could also take over Brahmalok. Because no evil can befall anyone who look upon and worship their Acharya. Lord Brahma then told Indra to take protection from Vishwarup, Twasta's son, Aditi's grandson. He asked them to respect him as their preceptor and also instructed them to accept even his partiality if shown towards the demon, his mother being a Daitya. So now you know the full story in detail, how Vishwarup has become the Acharya. So we will come to this slide later. Yeah. So yes, the next one. Right. Yeah. Go to the next slide.
So so last time we covered until 6.6, and this was for this session.
Okay.
This
So
is
you don't have any
the
other slides on. Do you have any more slides, or this was the last?
I think this is the last. Let me
Okay. Then I'll
just
just I'll
grab.
just I'll just cover a few points. Okay. So what we have learned so far, that Brihaspati was not happy, so he left, and Vishwarup has become the Acharya. And then, just to complete their story, now Vishwarup has three heads. He's a very exalted personality. So he was made in charge for reciting all the mantras, etc. And so when he was reciting mantras, some of the benefits of the mantras he was also assigning to Daityas. Because he is from the same lineage, he did not think that he was doing anything wrong. But when Indra came to know about it, he became infuriated and he cut his heads, three heads. Now, later Indra realized that this was a great mistake committed by him. So he repented for it, and his repentance was also shared, his sins were shared by four entities: the trees, the earth, the women, and the water. So those slides we will present in the next session. So this is the story of Vishwarup Twasta, the lineage of Priyavrat, and to complete the story, that Daksh Prajapati is married to a lady called Marisha, who comes from the lineage on
Rajvi,
the.
your voice is breaking up.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, sorry. There was one more slide on this. So sorry, I
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
it.
yeah. No, no, no. So
Yeah,
Vishwarup
your voice
Twasta,
is breaking up. Is it
voice
happening
is
for all?
breaking up.
Even for me, it's breaking. Can't hear anything.
No one here.
Radha Bhaiya, it's still breaking. We can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Oh, voice is still breaking. Can any one of you read and see if others can hear you?
Yeah. So
Yes, Vijay Bhaiya, read please.
so based on our last point, like Lord Brahma then told Indra to take protection from Vishwarupa, Vathasta's son and Aditi's grandson. He asked them to respect him as their preceptor and also instructed them to accept his partiality. Thrown towards the demon, his mother being a Daitya. So then Vishwarupa, the son of Twasta, was appointed by the gods and implored him to be the preceptor so that they could easily and fully conquer their enemies through the preceptor's spiritual glory. The holy sage Vishwarupa was highly delighted and was happy, even though it meant priesthood, conducting sacrifices, and he took up the role of a priest with supreme diligence. Due to his extraordinary power by the virtue of Lord's grace, he could snatch away the Narayan Kavach mantra from the Asuras and taught it to the Indradev. This prayer to protect Indra from the demons.
Okay. Do you have 6.8?
No, I think
This was the last, yeah?
yeah, this was the last.
Okay, okay. So, so the next, now my voice, can you hear?
No, I think still there's some crackling sound happening in between.
So the only option for me is to switch to my iPhone then, if you are still not able to hear.
Or Bhaiya, just log off and log in again. That might help.
Okay, no
But he is
problem.
the host. He is the host. If he'll log out, it'll.
No. Assign host to one of us and then you log off.
So I have assigned host to Vijay Bhaiya.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I can log off and log in, is it?
Yeah. You can log off now.
Okay, okay. So okay, let me do that. You can keep the audience engaged in the meantime.
Yeah, you can take question answer session maybe in between Vijay. Any new devotee join.
Yeah, I can see some more people joining in today. Pragati Didi, do you want to share your thoughts? So we have been, this is our 19th session. So I'm not sure if you have attended it earlier. So we go through all the question answers at the end of the session. Do you have any questions? Probably you can unmute yourself and talk about yourself. How did you get to know about this, and what is your experience so far? It looks like she's not. I can see someone who has joined with iPhone 44.
No, I don't know why I have got two.
It is better now.
Yeah, it's
Is
better.
better, but I looks like I have joined twice. So how to?
That's okay, Bhaiya. You can mute one, the one you are not using, then you will not have that echo in the background.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my voice is coming all right, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's fine. It's perfect now.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Perfect.
Sorry for all the confusion. So just to like let us complete the story up to this point. So Canto 6, what did we learn? We learned about Ajamil, his uh, atonement after he was witness to the conversation between Vishnu Dut and Yamdut. He had uttered the name Narayan. He was in his last dying days at the age of 88. All his baggage of past sins were there with him. But because he uttered the name Narayan, he attracted Vishnu Dut, who convinced the Yamdut to go away. And Ajamil was given another chance for atonement, and that's how he became God realized. So that is the story to establish the point that Lord is ever merciful and Maya is very strong. Anyone can fall down, but we need not become completely disappointed because of this, and we can still recover and come back. That is the power of devotion. And then the the creation, the propagation of creation from Daksh Prajapati, that story began. And we learned that the first 10,000 sons were made into sannyasis because of Naraji's words, and next 1,000 sons also. And finally, the 16 daughters, whom we learned in detail, and then we will come back for an interactive session. So, if you can display bhajan. Now, most of the bhajans that we take up this session are taken from Sri Maharaj's collection called Prem Madira, and which has different bhav, different the the sentiments. So this bhajan
Bhaiya, it's
restlessness.
breaking again in the in between.
Yeah.
Okay. It's strange because it doesn't usually happen. It's fine now. I get a message. Can I try?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dinanath mohe kahe bisare hum rihi bar. Uh, can you increase the size a bit?
Mauna ka sadhar.
Mon kasadhare. So I'll try singing. If I don't, then I'll have to take help from you, Anjan Bhaiya, because of the voice breaking, if at all. दीनानाथ मोहि काहे बिसारे, दीनानाथ मोहि काहे बिसारे, हमारी ही बात मौन कस धारे, हमारी ही बात मौन कस धारे, नाथ गति के गति अनाथ हम, नाथ अगति के गति अनाथ हम, कहु कवन गति मोरी विचारे, कहु कवन गति मोरी विचारे, दीनानाथ मोहि काहे बिसारे, गणिका गीत अजामिल आदिक, गणिका गीत अजामिल आदिक, सुनत अमित पतितन तुम प्यारे, सुनत अमित पतितन तुम प्यारे, दीनानाथ मोहि काहे बिसारे, इन सम अगणित पतित रोम प्रति, सम अगणित पतित रोम प्रति, भारत पतित विरत रखवारे, भारत पतित विरद रखवारे, दीनानाथ मोहि काहे बिसारे, दंभ को
दंभ
कोटिन रावण सम मद धारे, कोटिन रावण सम आजहु जासु लजाती अधम अस लाज, उजासु लजाती अधम अस, है न हुए न तू हुई है भारे, है न हुए न तू हुई है भारे, दीना नाथ मोहि काहे बिसारे। कृपालु प्रभु सन कछु ने मुख कृपालु प्रभु सन कछु कहिए नाथ अब हाथ तिहारे कहिए नाथ अब हाथ तिहारे दीनानाथ मोहि काहे बिसारे मोहि काहे बिसारे मोहि काहे बिसारे। बोलिए श्रीमद सतगुरु
सतगुरु
सरकार
सरकार की जय।
श्रीमद युगल सरकार की
की
जय।
जय।
जय जय श्री
श्री
राधे।
राधे।
जय जय श्री
जय श्री
राधे।
राधे।
जय जय
जय
श्री
जय श्री
राधे।
राधे।
Our koti koti pranam to the lotus feet of Sri Hari and Sri Guru. Our koti koti pranam to Swami Mukundananji. My humble pranam to each one of you. So we have covered the 6-7 chapters of the Canto 6, which is very instructive, informative, like any other chapter and any other uh, content that we have read in Bhagwat Mahapuran, because Bhagwat Mahapuran is the highest Vedic literature. It is the essence of all the Vedic knowledge. So what we are reading is absolutely the very exalted scripture from the Vedic tradition. And this is the complete story of creation, the complete story of all the avatars of God, and all the stories about different devotees of the Lord. We had a lot of glitches today in the program, and so we are sorry for that. I would request Vijay Bhaiya and Anjan Bhaiya to open up the forum and suggest if we could take up some interactive discussions.
Right. So, thank you so much, Rajesh Priya, for the session today. And this this was in continuation to the last one we had, and it was really nice, like to know about how things are were happening in our whole lineage, and what are the things which are Purva Purush or Manuji Maharaj, all they have, all their history. So with that, I will open up the forum for any question and answers. So
Yes,
I
please.
see I see Pragati Didi joining. I'm not sure if she's new to this. So Pragati Didi, like, do you want to introduce yourself and you like to ask any questions if you have any? She's on mute. Like, and okay, so whoever has any questions, probably they can unmute themselves and they can ask it.
Any questions or any feedback, any comments? So we will take up the takeaways later. You can
I think,
take off the display. And now
yeah.
Sohini Didi would like to
Fine.
say something. Yes.
Yeah.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya. Like always, all your sessions are very captivating. Thank you so much. I just needed some clarification on the nakshatras. No, the rashis are the zodiac. So what are the nakshatras?
Yeah. So very beautiful question. And this part of the cosmology, even I am trying to learn in greater depth. But whatever I have learned so far, So, unlike our normal perception that we read in our school and textbook that Earth is rotating around the sun, what is there in Bhagavad Mahapuran is that sun is rotating and the Earth that we call Earth is stationary. So this is the first knowledge. So the Earth in which we live is a very small tract of land which is a part of Bharat Varsh, which is the part of Jambudvip. So I hope you would have remembered that in our Bhumandal, the innermost dweep is called Jambudvip. And within Jambudvip, there are 9 Varsh, Bharatvarsh, Kimpurushvarsh, Ilavartvarsh, Ramyakvarsh. These are the different segments. The southernmost is called Bharatvarsh, and Bharatvarsh also has 7 segments. One of those segments is our Earth, which we call India, Africa, Australia, America. This spherical globe that we know, that is only a part of the Bharatvarsh. Now the entire Bhumandal is stationary. Jambudvip is stationary, so Bharatvarsh is also stationary. Now you think about the Meru Parvat, which is in the center of Jambudvip. It is 100,000 yojan tall. It is made up of gold. 100,000 yojan means it is 13 lakh kilometers tall. That is the height of Meru Parvat. Now the sun is rotating around this Meru Parvat. Meru Parvat, the Sumeru mountain is the center of the universe. Sun is rotating around the Sumeru mountain. So while the sun is rotating, the lights are falling on Earth, and that causes the day and night. Half of the time, when the light is not falling on one part of the globe, that is night and the day. So just to repeat, the sun is rotating, but the India and America and Africa, that globe that we call Earth, that is stationary. Now above the sun, 100,000 yojan above, which is again 13 lakh kilometers above sun, in a different orbit, there is moon, and the moon is also rotating about. Thanks, you have displayed the slide. So you can see the Jambudvip, the Mount Meru, and the sun is rotating around Mount Meru, and the moon is also rotating around the I'm not sure if moon is shown here. The sun, the moon perhaps is also shown. Yeah, so
Yes.
that is the moon. And the other planets, Saturn, Mercury, Venus, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, they are also in this space. So this is called Antariksh. This is between Bhumandal and Swargalok. In between is Bhu, Swa, Bhulok, Bhuvarlok, and Swarlok. These are the 3 lokas. This is called the Triloki. In the Triloki, you have all these entities. The Bhulok, Bhumandal, Jambudvip, Sun, Moon, different stars. And also in this space, you have Saptarishis and you have the pole star. So I'm not sure if pole star is shown here. Now, pole star is also a very important point in the cosmology. Now, your question, where are the nakshatras? So, what are nakshatras? Nakshatras are the constellation of stars. So, the nakshatras are mounted on a disk, I mean, circular disk, and all the constellations of stars are, you can assume it is mounted, it is a part of this disk. Now the nakshatra, the stars themselves are stationary, but the disk is rotating. It's like you are moving on a conveyor belt. So you are standing on the conveyor belt. So you are stationary if you are not walking, but the base is moving. Similarly, these constellations of stars are mounted on are located on the circular disk, and the circular disk is rotating. That circular disk is called Kal Chakra. So in this Kal Chakra, all these constellations are there. So those nakshatras are 28 in number. And when the moon is rotating, it spends one day with one nakshatra. The movement is such which we need to study in detail to understand. So nakshatras are related to the moon. Now the same nakshatra you can divide into 12 rashis. Like one rashi will have two nakshatras or 2.5 nakshatras. So those rashis are related to the sun. That collection of rashis is called zodiac. So this much you should remember, that when the sun is moving, it is going through different collection of stars. So in context of sun, it is called the rashis: Vrishchik Rashi, Mesh Rashi, Tula Rashi. But when in the context of the moon, that rashis are further divided, and that is called nakshatras: Abhijit Nakshatra, Kritika Nakshatra, Swati Nakshatra, etc. Maybe in the next session, I can show another couple of slides to illustrate this point in a more illustrative way. Would that answer your question to some extent?
Perfectly.
Okay, thank
Perfectly. Thank you so much. Thank you.
you.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe. So let's hear from some of you, your feedback, your suggestions, your comments.
Radha Radha Bhaiya, grateful for
Yes,
the insightful session and enlightening discussion on Bhagavatam topic. Definitely, your wisdom has enriched our understanding.
your voice is
So,
very low.
can you hear me now?
Yeah, now better.
Okay, yeah, I was telling. So, thanks for the knowledge and your wisdom has definitely enriched our understanding. So, just to continue the question that Didiji asked and your answer, the picture also we saw. So, then accordingly, what you described, sun is closer to us, to the earth, and the moon is further, right? But
Sun is
science
sun is
says,
Science is totally
sci-
different. Sun is
yeah,
100,000 yojan above the Bhumandal, 13
yeah,
lakh kilometers. And
mm,
above sun, 13 lakh kilometers is moon.
yeah,
And moon's orbit is different. That is why it can complete its cycle in 1 month, whereas the sun
mm,
takes 365 days. And sun has two different motions. One is it is rotating around Sumeru Parvat, but it is also rising up and down, Uttarayan and Dakshinayan.
mm.
That I will show in another slide, or
Is
you
it
can
something
Google and you also
symbolic or something, or some like some other entity we are referring to, not the actual sun and moon here, like in geographical positions, what we have studied in science or something? Because
in the
if you
science, in the
see,
science we will never know. Yeah, yeah. Tell me. Yeah, yeah. हाँ बोलिए.
no, I was telling, like we have sent vehicles to moon, it's so near, and sun, even if you
Exactly. That was my
exactly.
question also. I tried to figure out Chandrayaan how many kilometers. So it says only 400,000 kilometers, 4 lakh
Yeah.
kilometers. But here, the as per Bhagavatam, you can read yourself. It says 200,000 yojan from Bhumandal itself. So that itself is 26 lakh kilometers.
Mm.
So it is completely different. So now the moon is a very special element in the universe. The moon is the supplier of the nourishment to the plant. If you read Bhagavad Gita, shloka number 12 in 15th chapter, 13th or 12th shloka, it says, Gama Vishya cha bhutani dharyami aham ojasa pushnami chausadi sarva somo bhutva rasatmaka. Som is the moon. Sri Krishna is telling, I become moon, and the moonlight nourishes all the plants and all the vegetation, and the juice that we get in the fruits is because of the moonlight. So moon is not an ordinary entity
Yeah.
that
Mm.
we can be very casual about. Moon is the very special entity. Similarly, the sun is a very special entity. So the spiritual approach is completely different. But when we are exploring all these expeditions, we may not know about the Vedic interpretation. Anyway, this is a long topic. Let's have some other participants, if they have something to
Yeah.
share.
Mitaji, do you have any question?
You are muted.
Yeah,
You need
you
to
have.
unmute.
राधे राधे भैया। कोई क्वेश्चन
हाँ,
नहीं है, सिर्फ यही बोलना है कि हम लोग आज के दिन जो सब लोग साथ मिलकर भैया का प्रवचन सुनते हैं, इसका बहुत ही अच्छा प्रभाव हमारे जीवन पे पड़ रहा है। मन बहुत शांत रहता है और साथ में चाहे कोई कैसा भी निगेटिव बात बोले, गुस्सा जाहिर करे या किसी भी तरह का बहुत ज़्यादा वर्क प्रेशर हो या कुछ भी हो, उन सभी चीज़ों के जो नकारात्मक प्रभाव है, उसको डील करने में बहुत ही इजी हो रहा है और हम सब श्री कृष्ण भगवान की भक्ति में अनायास ही बहुत ज़्यादा अपना टाइम दे पा रहे हैं। हालांकि 24 घंटे पहले भी मिलते थे, लेकिन उसमें उतना ध्यान भगवान में नहीं रहता था। लेकिन भैया के साथ जो हर शनिवार को हम साथ में बैठते हैं, जो हमारे पास्ट के जो हमारी कहानियां हैं अपनी संस्कृति के, उनको सुनने के बाद और इन सारी बातों भगवान से रिलेटेड सारी स्टोरीज को सुनने के बाद एक अलग सा प्रभाव मन में है और उनके प्रति बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग भावना बनती जा रही है और बहुत ही अच्छा लगता है। तो जीवन में तो इसका बहुत ही सकारात्मक परिणाम दिख रहा है। इससे ज्यादा और क्या हम अपेक्षा रख सकते हैं। बहुत बहुत प्रणाम। राधे
Thank you
राधे।
so much. Thank you so much. Amazing. And this is what is the glory of Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. Reading one mantra from Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran is considered equivalent to so many yajnas and so many pilgrimages. So Bhagavad Mahapuran is indeed very special. There must be a reason that we did not have any knowledge about Bhagavad Mahapuran. Many people, if you talk to them, so have you read Bhagavad Mahapuran? They say, do you mean Bhagavad Gita? They have not even heard sufficiently that there is Bhagavad Mahapuran. So because of the, some special grace of the Lord, we are all seated together and learning from the greatest scripture, Vedic scripture, Bhagavad Mahapuran. This is indeed a very special occasion which Smita ji has just very beautifully articulated. But let's hear from anyone else.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Is it possible for you to put the slide again?
Yeah. I mean, Vijay Bhaiya, if you can put the
yeah,
slide.
so yeah, let me just put that. Which
Yeah,
slide, Adya? Is
The
it
last one that we just put on.
the picture, right,
okay?
of the universe.
Yes.
Okay. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
So my question is, at the bottom, why is there like a snake type creature?
Okay, so that is Anant Shesh. So, first you learnt about the Bhumandal, where I'm rotating the cursor, and we talked about the Jambu Dweep, but I did not talk about there are 7 other Dweep here, which is Shalmali Dweep and Palash, Palaksh Dweep and Kusha Dweep and Shaka Dweep and Shaka Dweep and Pushkar Dweep. And if you look at the sun, it is at the top of the Pushkar Dweep. So Pushkar Dweep is again very special. On top of Pushkar Dweep is Mansuttar mountain. And on top of that, there is a thick layer of air on which the wheel of the chariot of sun is moving. So Bhumandal, now if you come into this triangular, this carrot-like shape, you see Atal Lok, Vital Lok, Sutal Lok. So these are called subterranean because these are a part of the ocean which is called Garbhodak Ocean. You see the Garbhodak Ocean. So these are, it's like if you dig our earth in which we live, we have to make a tunnel. So these are like the subterranean tunnel, which are huge. And the sunlight is not reaching there, but they are effulgent because of, the gems on the heads of the serpents. And so these are the subterranean regions, and below which is another set of hellish planets which is not shown here. So this is the structure of the universe, and this structure of the universe is supposed to be resting on the head of Anant Shesh, who is the form of Lord Vishnu. You may have heard about Anant Bhagwan. So this is the Anant Bhagwan. Different names he has. So he is holding the entire Bhumandal on his head, and the Bhagavad describes, for him it is like a small mustard seed sitting on his head. It is as light as that. So all this is to show that God's power is infinite and God's energies are infinite, and his acts and his actions cannot be understood by our material mind. So this is the answer to your point, that this is Ananta Shesh. If you see another diagram, you will see the Ananta Shesh is also seated on the tortoise, which is the Lord Kurma. In some pictures, you will see that also. So starting from the bottom, Lord Kurma, the tortoise, then Ananta Shesh, and Ananta Shesh is the person on whose bed you will see Lord Vishnu reclining, and Lakshmi ji is pressing his feet. So these are all very, very amazing points to discover. Does that satiate your curiosity, Aradhya, to some extent?
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you. Radha. Sheila Didi, you want to say something? Aparna Didi, anyone else? Now we are almost coming to an end of the time.
Thank you, Bhaiya, for yet another good session. Sorry that I joined a bit late today. And no, thank you. And there's lots to learn. And also for us to not only learn from you, but then to try and recall some of it as well. And then try and relive and re-listen to the sessions that we get sent on the Srimad Bhagavatam group, because it's easy to forget. That's what I think. So just hearing it again and recalling it and then revising is always useful. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe. We have some new participants, Pragati ji, Vaibhav ji. If they wish
Yeah,
to say something, yes. Yes, please.
Radhe Radhe Bhaiya.
Vaibhav, Radhe Radhe. Vaibhav.
Yes, Bhaiya, it was very, sorry I joined a bit late. It was very informational and deep, rich divine knowledge. And we cannot ourselves interpret it in such a simpler way, like you explained. And yes, it was very beautifully. And the pad you sang, Dina Nath Mohe Kaya Visare, that was also very beautiful.
And
Radhe Radhe.
Bhaiya, we could hear Dholak today. I don't know whether the last sessions were,
Yes.
it was very clear and was very nice.
Yeah, because I'm using my office laptop, so in which the setting seems to be good. I'll try to do the same with my laptop. But thank you so much, Vaibhav ji, for your kind words and your beautiful articulation of your sentiments. Welcome. We are all
Radhe.
trying to learn the nuggets from Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. Yeah.
Radhe.
I think Pragati
Hema,
ji,
Hema ji
she's
has raised her hand.
okay.
Yes, Hema ji. Please unmute.
Radhe Radhe, everyone. Isn't it fascinating? The moon is a source of nourishment. Huh? I've always, since moving into this high-rise building, I've always been fascinated with the views of the changing moon, how it goes from being a big ball of silver, radiating light, to only last Sunday, it was like a crest, a fine hairline crest. And I just happened to take a picture of it because I just looked up the window and there it was unexpectedly at that shape, but yet it's a source of nourishment as well. So my curiosity as to why I've been so fascinated with the moon since moving into this building is now answered through the Bhagavatam class. Huh? I've got portfolios and portfolios of sunrise, sunset, the harvest moon, the full moon, when it's that orangey, peachy color. You know, why? What is my attraction and my fascination? And there we go. The answers are here. Thank you so much, Bhaiya. So much. I cannot tell you what nourishment this knowledge is doing for my mind and knowledge. It's too
Wonderful. Thank you so
profound.
much. Yes, we are constantly hearing from you about your fascination about the moon, which you are citing from your high-rise building, and I'm sure you will show us some pictures. Yes, the entire story of God, story of Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Mahapuran is absolutely, mind-boggling. And just talking about the moon, last maybe 30 seconds, we also learn about the lineage, how the moon has originated in this cult. So moon is from the lineage of Atri Rishi. Atri's Rishi's lineage, we get moon, which is called Som, and then the next in the lineage is Budh, the Mercury. And then when you come down, you go to Pururva, who was married to Urvashi. And then you go down, there is a personality called Nahush and Nabhag and Yayati. Yati is another very prominent person. And in the same lineage, when you go down, you come to Sursen, and then you come to Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna is Chandravanshi, he belongs to the Chandravans. Similarly, if you go into the Suryavans, you will see the lineage of Sri Ram, which will go right onto the top. So these are all very fascinating. Now, moon is not only the planet or the star or nakshatra, whatever we call, it is also a personality who is married to all the 28 nakshatras, who are the daughters of uh, your the lineage that we talked about. So anyway, this is a never ending story. Over to Sri Vijayji for conclusion.
Yeah, so do we want to quickly cover the key takeaways before?
Okay. So key takeaways, today we have selected the Gopi Geet. So this will come up in the 10th canto. Right now we are in the 6th canto. We are learning about the lineage of Priyavrat. In 7th canto, we will learn about Prahlad Maharaj. In the 8th canto, we will learn about the Manvantars, different Manu's times. When we go into the 10th canto, that canto is exclusively devoted to Sri Krishna. We will learn about Sri Krishna's birth and then his different leelas. So this is from Gopi Geet, when Sri Krishna, who is always fascinating the gopis in Vrindavan, they become so attracted to Sri Krishna, different age group. So in the night, Sri Krishna has on the Sharad Purnima played the flute, and the gopis have all rushed to Sri Krishna. And some of the gopis who couldn't leave the family, they left their body, the gross body behind, and they went in the subtle form to meet Sri Krishna. So Sri Krishna made all that happen for the devotees. So the family members are thinking, my daughter-in-law or daughter is still in the house, but actually they have already gone into the forest. And Sri Krishna is playing the flute, and then he does the Ras Leela. He dances individually with each gopi. But after some time, the gopis get, the sentiments that Sri Krishna is only mine. They develop a kind of a pride. And at that time, Sri Krishna, being the Tribhangi Lal, he's always playing Leelas, he vanishes. So when he vanishes, the gopis sing the song, which is called Gopi Geet. Because of their separation, they cannot bear the separation, so they sing the songs. So these are the few lines we have picked up. Jayati te dikam janmana vrajah shayat indira shaswadatrahi दयितदृश्यतां दीक्षुतावका स्वैधृतासवश त्वां विचिन्वते. The gopis said, O beloved, your birth in the land of Vraj has made it exceedingly glorious, and thus Indira, the goddess of fortune, always resides here. It is only for your sake that we, your devoted servants, maintain our lives. We have been searching everywhere for you, so please show yourself to us. And in the second line, they say, O Lord of love, in beauty your glance excels the whole of the finest, most perfectly formed lotus within the autumn period, autumn pond. O bestower of benedictions, you are killing the maidservants who have given themselves to you freely without any price. Isn't this murder? So these are the expressions of the gopis during the Maharas and the separation called Gopi Geet. Yeah. So. And the last line, O greatest of personalities, you have repeatedly saved us from all kinds of danger, from poisoned water, from the terrible man-eater Agasur, from the great rains like Indra, he produced those rains, from the wind demon, from the fiery thunderbolt of Indra, from the bull demon, and from the son of Maidana. So when Sri Krishna has gone away, in the separation, they are recalling all those incidents and shedding tears and singing these songs. That is the Gopi Geet.
Right. So I know, like we'll be discussing this in detail in that mood when we start with chapter 10. So thank you so much everyone for joining, and I think the important point that I want to bring here is like we uh, I can see whoever has joined, they are regular, but we also need to let others know, like our close members, so that they can also take advantage of all the wisdoms that we have and what is our background, and especially the kids and other close members. So that way we can also, this is also part of it. This will be considered as a seva for from our side, and it will also help others to grow in this, in knowing about wisdoms and knowledge of our scriptures. So we'll continue with next chapters, and let's try and let's continue like this, and we'll meet up again in the next session. And until then, thank you so much everyone for joining, and Radha Radha to everyone. Have a nice weekend.
बोलिए
Srimad
श्रीमद सदगुरु सरकार की जय,
सरकार की जय,
श्रीमद युगल सरकार की
सरकार
जय,
की जय।
जय जय श्री
जय श्री
राम,
राधे,
जय जय
जय
श्री
जय श्री
राम,
राधे,
जय
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 श्री
श्री
राम.
राधे। राधे राधे एवरीवन।
राधे